Hey guys, here we go. So we are ready to put our bugs in our jar. But like always, we are going to practice first. So I want you to go ahead and take your final paper that we drew yesterday and put it aside. Put it somewhere safe so that it is going to be fine for when we are ready to work on it. I want us to work in our sketchbook today because we want to plan on how many bugs we can fit, where we're going to put them, you know, how we want to put them in there, and we want to do that in our practice first. So we're in our sketchbook, and then I have printed out copies, but they are available for you in Seesaw so that you can see all of these different tutorials. I did not make them. They are from the internet, and I just grabbed them for you so that you would have access to them. So we've got spiders and grasshoppers or crickets, beetles, ladybugs, ants, bees, another different kind of bee, a spider, here's another bee, a monarch butterfly, a moth, and then I've got a caterpillar as well. So these I'm going to have handy for me as I do it because I don't draw bugs every day, so I'm going to need some assistance too. But they will be available for you to pick and choose which ones you want to focus on. I want you to pick at least 3 different kinds of bugs, but I would love if your jar has 5 total bugs in it. So 3 different kinds, 5 total bugs. If you can fit more, that's fine, but we don't want so many bugs in the jar that it gets so crowded and we can't see the detail in each bug. So try to stay 5 or 6, any more than that, and it might be too many. Jars aren't that big, right? This jar is not as big as, you know, my computer screen or even like a window. Jars are, you know, this big. It's a jar. So I happen to love monarch butterflies. I love that they are a state insect. I love to grow milkweed to bring monarchs to my yard and my garden. And so I am definitely going to draw a monarch butterfly. So that's what I'm going to start with. And I want to think about my monarch is flying. So I'm going to put it towards the top of my jar. So I am following the tutorial as much as possible. You can make adjustments. Some of them are a little bit more complicated than others. So that's my body of my caterpillar, almost like the thorax. And then I'm thinking about the wings. So the top part of a butterfly wing is a little bit more triangular. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Remember, butterflies are a great example of symmetry. All right, so I'm going to put my butterfly there. And this wing kind of hits the lid, so I'm going to actually erase this top because we maybe wouldn't see the top edge because of the thickness of the glass where that lid would be. Okay, and then from there is when I would want to go ahead and put in that monarch, that like distinct black and orange monarch patterning. But I'm not going to waste your time watching me do this, but I'll just kind of throw it in one wing. So monarchs have like those bigger patterns here, and then they've got those smaller patterns as you work towards the edge of the wing. So I'll go back later on and add the rest of that in, but you get the idea. So there's our butterfly. And what comes before butterflies? Caterpillars. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a caterpillar as well, and I'm going to have him kind of hanging out on the edge of my jar. So I'm going to flip my jar so that when I'm drawing it the same way that I see it on my worksheet here, okay? So kind of looking at the basic shape of my caterpillar. And I tried to pick tutorials that were both realistic but also playful at the same time. So there's my caterpillar, and now I've got to put in that kind of bumpy line, those hills. And that's going to help represent the feet. Okay. Need a little eyeball and a mouth over here. 2 antennae. And then, let's see, I need little feet on the bottoms of my hills. And then I need some stripes. And there we go. There's my caterpillar, okay? So I've got 2 different bugs, so I'm really thinking about spreading my bugs out. They all don't want to be dropped on the bottom. We want some of our bugs to be alive. We don't want them to all be like dead and piled up at the bottom. Okay, so I've got my caterpillar, I've got my butterfly, so I've met 2 different kinds, so I need 1 more different kind bug. And if I wanted to add another butterfly later, that would be fine, because I would have eventually 3 different kinds in my 5 total bugs. So I'm gonna go see what else I want to put in here. I also really like spiders. Spiders are good. I know these spiders seem a little bit creepy, but spiders eat mosquitoes. And you know who doesn't like mosquitoes? Mrs. Vance doesn't like mosquitoes. Mosquitoes obviously bite us in Illinois, and they leave marks and they itch, and they're really sort of a nuisance bug. They don't provide a lot of nourishment for nature. They really don't serve a good purpose. Spiders, on the other hand, do, because they eat nuisance pests like mosquitoes. So spiders are actually a good thing. So think twice before killing those spiders inside your house. Maybe you could just relocate them outside or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a spider, and I'm going to have this spider hanging from the top of my jar. So I'm going to go ahead and improvise a little bit and use a little bit of that spider webbing that it has. And I'm going to go ahead and start. So I would start with the body, and that's just kind of like a circle. And then I'm going to do the head on top. Although, wait a minute, I think I just did that backwards, right? Because if the spider's webbing kind of comes out of its rear end, so I need to flip this around. So I'm actually going to flip my book upside down so that when I'm drawing and referencing my drawing, I'm thinking the right way here. So I'd actually start with the body and then add the head there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the front parts of the legs, it looks like. 2 little skinny parts over here, and then 1 more down here, and then 1 in the back. And then let's see, I need to add other pieces, and then I got to do the other side. So it looks like I add a short one here and here. So different parts of the legs, like so. And then it looks like I add a 3rd one on all of them. So the different sections of those legs there, and they kind of get skinnier as they go out. So there's one side, so I need to duplicate all of that symmetrically on the other side. Okay, so there's step 1. Add another oval, step 2, and then 1 more, step 3. There we go. So now I've got a Spidey. All right, so I've got 3 different bugs. I have accomplished my goal here, and I need 5 total bugs. So I need 2 more bugs, and I can repeat 1 if I want to. That wouldn't be very much fun in my demo, so I'm going to do something different. Let's see, what else do I want to do? I'm going to find that bumblebee and maybe a ladybug. Let's see. That would require me to find the bumblebee. There it is. Okay. So I've got this bee here, and I think this was my favorite bee out of all of them to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that and maybe keep him kind of on an angle but still flying. So again, I'm just following the steps as shown on the tutorials, going box by box, adding part by part. And you know what? I'm making this bee too big. Proportionately, my bee needs to be smaller than my butterfly, right? My butterfly should be the biggest in the jar. My spider is probably too big, but I kind of like him. So I'm going to leave him the way he is. And I'm just going to start over on my bee and make sure that it's a little smaller. Thorax and abdomen. And then I got to do the wings next. It's a little tricky doing it symmetrically, but we're getting there. And then I got to put legs in. And then I need to do front legs quick. And then little antennae. All right, and then the rest would be done with coloring. So, you know, I could add in some wing detail with my pencil. If you haven't noticed, this project is kind of all about detail, working on our adding of detail skills and following and paying attention to small designs and choices. So I would fill in here, and here is going to be black eventually. So there's my bee. All right, so then the last one I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a ladybug, and I'm going to have him crawling on the bottom. And I probably have room for a 6th bug, so I might add another one later on or duplicate one and have him crawling on the ground. I purposely chose different angles of every bug, so not every bug in your tutorials is all the same angle, because that helps make your project a little bit more interesting. And that way you can put your bugs in different places on your paper. All right, so my ladybug is definitely going to overlap this back section here, so I can erase this out of my jar. And then it looks like I've got to make a wing here. I'm adding in another body part. And then it looks like I add the eyes next. And then some spots. And I gotta add some legs. Make sure we're paying attention to how many legs. Let's see. I actually think they gave this ladybug too many legs. I'll have to look up the anatomy of a ladybug, but I thought only spiders had 8 legs. I thought all other insects had 6. So I think I'm going to eliminate a leg because I think this tutorial is incorrect. All right. It looks like only the back end shows. All right, so there's my ladybug. So I've got 5 different bugs drawn on mine. I cannot wait to see what you draw in yours. Remember, we are only working in our practice copy today to really map out where we're putting everything, where everything fits, and deciding which bugs we like the best. If you have space like I do, like I have definitely some space right here, I'm thinking about adding one more bug, but I think it also would be fine if I left it as is. I think it does look full enough, but you know, why not add one more if I've got the space? All right, guys, I cannot wait to see your insects and what you decide to add. Feel free to research your own bugs and to draw them on your own. I've provided plenty of resources for you, but of course, if you are an insect expert and you want to look up more drawing tutorials of your favorite insect, maybe like a praying mantis or something like that, feel free to add. All right, guys, have a good one.